Alright, hi everyone, Greg here, Essentially Everything. Hopefully everybody's doing great today. I am actually quite excited because we are on Monday, which means we are covering our series on setting goals for ourselves and how to achieve them. And I'm going to cover 4 little tips for our segment in time management that we're actually on. But before I do, I just wanted to kind of just go off for a second because we were at a convention this past weekend. Well, Alicia was at a convention this past weekend, and we were all down in Hamilton, and it was the first time I actually stayed at an Airbnb, which was pretty neat, but it was kind of weird, but it was still pretty neat. I'd definitely do it again. But being down at this convention was kind of neat for her sake, because they had announced a whole bunch of awards for some people who had some outstanding achievements. They had some awesome product launches, and of course they had some amazing training, which I didn't actually get a chance to be a part of a lot of that. I did get to see a few posts that Alicia put up, so the speakers that they had, it would have been absolutely phenomenal to see them. Seeing that kind of stuff live and in person, from people who have actually been there, kind of done that sort of thing, is highly recommended. If you get a chance to go see any of these speakers that are out there, especially some of the top names, it is more than worth the money to go see them if you ever do get a chance. So I just wanted to touch base on that and let you know, because it was pretty neat experience. So that's kind of why I'm fired up right now. But I'm going to get into these tips because I don't want to take up too much of your time. So one of the first ones is, this is going to sound weird, and I know what people are going to think, but you gotta schedule your day. I know, I get it. You don't want to plan or have an agenda for your entire life. You don't want to have to say, I got to put the right leg into the pants first, and then the left leg, and then, I got to put that sock on this foot and that sock on. I'm not talking about that. We're not going to get crazy into that. We're talking about your goals that you want to achieve, or goal that you want to achieve, and the priorities and the vital tasks that surround that goal that are going to help you get there, and then all the little steps that you got to take. In order to do that, you got to have a plan. It's kind of like trying to bake a cake. You can't just take all the ingredients and whip it into a bowl and mix it up and throw it in the oven, right? There's a method, there's a map you have to follow, there's an ingredient list you have to follow in order to make it all work. And that's what this is doing. So if you say you're going to take an hour and a half of your time, and you're going to take that time, and that's what you're focusing on, and that's the only thing you're going to do. And everybody knows Greg's doing hour and a half, so I'm not going to bother him. For instance, when I'm here in the studio and the door is closed, I know the kids know that, if you hear me in here talking, chances are I'm either recording, or I'm at least practicing, or I'm doing work that I need to get done. So 9 times out of 10 they won't come in unless it's a dire emergency, which is fine, because things happen, right? But needless to say, to plan your day, it's not a bad thing. You set out time that, this is the time that I'm going to be available to the office. This is the time I'm going to be available to answer the phone calls and the texts and the emails and all that sort of stuff. Schedule that time so you know exactly how much time you're going to be spending on that, and spend it on that. The next little tip is stick to your schedule. That's a big one, because how many of us just kind of fall off the wagon there? So many things come up. So much happens during the day. People come to your desk, knock on your door, phone rings. Everybody has other panics, but sticking to your schedule is the most important. And if people know that you are doing your vital tasks and your vital priorities, well, then they should really respect that in a manner of speaking, because I know I do. If I know somebody is working, I don't really want to bother them. If I know they're going to be free in a half an hour, I can wait that extra half hour just to take up a couple minutes of their time. So number 3 is, when you're done all that and your day is finished and you've achieved what you needed to achieve during that day, reward yourself. It doesn't necessarily have to be, go, buy yourself lavish gifts or anything like that. I'm talking about, have an ice cream, maybe watch the little TV show that you enjoy so much, or the hockey game, or whatever the case may be. Reward yourself with just something to say, yeah, if I do this today, at the end of the day, I'm going to have an ice cream. Maybe, chocolate chip cookie dough. It's quite delicious. It's one of my favorites. And the fourth tip that I actually have for you is, now schedule the next day. Take 10 minutes and just say, here's what I'm going to be doing. Agendas you can find pretty much anywhere. Even journals work. if that helps. I'm sure there's spreadsheets that are out there. There's probably Word documents that are available, templates that are available for that sort of thing. I know I'm in the process of building one for myself, just so I can kind of structure it how I like it. And that way, you know what you're doing when, and then you do it. So, these are the kinds of things, and it's ironic because I know a lot of you know that I'm a big Darren Hardy fan, and I'm on the Darren Dailies that he does Monday to Friday, and he's actually doing a series that actually ironically covered exactly in regards to the time management that we were talking about today. And that's one of the things that he actually mentioned that he had from a mentor of his, and this is from Jim Rohn, and you've heard me quote him before, but I just want to make sure I got the quote right because I always hate misreading quotes, so just give me 1 second. So before you start your day, finish it on paper. That's what Jim Rohn said. And it makes perfect sense and is so helpful. And I've done this several times, and I mean, when you finish the day, you feel so much more accomplished. I'd like to actually mention there's a book, this one right here, Focal Point by Brian Tracy. I know the words are all backwards. There's not much I can do there. That book is actually very good and focuses solely on being able to, help you with that time management, to be able to help you focus, to help you with your habits and that sort of thing. So it's a fantastic read. I would highly, highly recommend it. I don't know if you saw it, but there was a whole lot of dog ears in there and a lot of sticky noted pages and whatnot. So that ends, and that's going to conclude our segment for today on setting goals for ourselves and how to achieve them. Stay tuned next Monday as we continue on with this series, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Have yourself an absolute fantastic day, and we'll talk to you very soon. Take care.